So I get on my phone, check YouTube, and I see that Eric July has announced his artist for Yaira #1. And I was like, okay, cool. I'm wondering who he got. It's an artist from Brazil. Her name is Debora Carita. Now, I personally have never heard of her. Maybe you have, but I have checked her art and I now understand why he has contracted her to draw for this book, why he has added her to the team. I've noticed over the years that there's a bunch of good artists coming out of Brazil. I actually noticed this when I got back into comic book collecting. I want to say it was right around 2013 I noticed this. I don't remember what book it was I was reading. It was definitely a Marvel book. And it was a Brazilian artist. I know because I thought the art was really good. So I was like, man, let me look this dude up. And I was like, oh, this cat's from Brazil. For the life of me, I can't remember his name. Very good art. What's going on in Brazil right now? Is this something in the water? Is this something like a lot of good artists coming out of Brazil? They're doing their homework down there. It's exciting because I can see his vision and I understand why he's picking up certain artists for certain books. Now, you might ask yourself, well, people who follow you more than likely follow Eric July. Why are you covering this? They've already seen it. Well, yes, they've already seen it. Some people who follow me maybe haven't heard of the Rippaverse, haven't heard of Eric July. And what I like to do on my videos is not just go over the artists themselves. I also like to, wherever I can find their most recent and relevant art, I like to go there, find it, pull it up, so we can all see what this artist is going to bring to the book. So I have Debora Carita's Instagram page pulled up, and we're going to look at that, and we're going to see just what type of art do we have to look forward to for Yaira #1. So this is her Instagram page. As you can see, she's a professional. She's worked with Marvel, Dynamite, IDW, Dark Horse. She's worked with some big names, right? So she's no slouch. And I might skip past some of her art. Some of it was a little racy, and I prefer not to show that stuff. But anyway, so this is just a little bit of her art. That's her, obviously. I thought this was an interesting panel she drew, and this is Wonder Woman. You see Superman there in the background. Yo, I like it. I like it. I can see how this would be a good fit for Yaira. And that's the thing. And you've heard me say this before. I wonder sometimes if Marvel and DC realize that they might contract a person to draw a book, but that person their art may not really fit that character. And I don't know if they really do the character artist pairing well anymore. They used to do that really well. And I've noticed sometimes the art just doesn't really match the character. But I think in this instant, this art, I think really might match the Yaira book. This is really good. I'm just going through some of the stuff that she's drawn just so you could see. And so Eric July mentioned this. He said she's like a hybrid, a mix of old school art style and new school. I can see it. I can see it. She definitely has a new school feel, but there's like old school elements to the way that she pencils, and I think it'll work. I thought this was a pretty good panel right here. And when I saw this, I was like, okay, this is actually really good. Not that I was expecting anything less. I really don't think Eric July is going to bring someone onto the Rippaverse team that doesn't fit. I get the impression that he's very meticulous about writers and about artists. I mean, if you look at the quality of the paper that he used for ISUM #1, he was going all out. He was really doing his homework, paying attention and making sure that what he brought to the market wasn't trash. I appreciate that. again, just going through some of the panels that she's drawn so you can see some of her art and, like I said, give you an idea of what is to be expected to come to the Rippaverse, specifically Yaira #1. And I like this. I like this art. It's very professional. It's very good. It like the quality in the art. There's different art styles. People draw in different ways. The thing that I'm most attracted to is if I see a book and I think to myself, I don't think I could draw that. That's what I like. I'm like, yo, I do not think I can draw this. This is good. If I see something and I think, yo, I think I can do that. Now, I'm not the great artist. I haven't put my pencil to paper in many years. Many years. I don't know if I possess the skills I once did when I was a young man. If I would have continued, I probably would have become a comic book artist. But, things happen, life happens. I went a different way. Still enjoy comic books though. But looking at her art, I definitely get the impression like, yo, I don't think I could do some of this. Her lines are clean and her pictures, you know how some people, they'll pencil in something and if colors aren't added, you can't make a distinction between shapes. You can kind of see the person, but other than that, you can't make a distinction between shapes. I don't get that impression with her. I get the impression that her pencil game is on point. Here's another one, Wonder Woman. Okay, her pencil, you see what I mean? You can see the shards of glass. You can see what looks like, I don't know if that's buildings or maybe those are crates or something like that in the background, like storage crates. So I can at least make heads or tails of what I'm seeing in this pencil work. To me, that bodes well. That means that when colors are put to her art, you can really decipher what's going on. And I like this. I like this a lot. I'm liking what I'm seeing. She does a very good job. So, yo, shout out to Eric July, man. He's making the right connections. He is getting the right people. He is making moves that I don't think anyone at this point in this, what really essentially is a small startup comic book company, I don't think anyone expected this level of talent curation at this point in this company. So that speaks well to what might be coming next.